It's Reggie State, and it's such a beautiful day here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Today is May 14, 2019, and I wanted to take a few more moments to share a few things with you that have really been on my mind. You know, in the previous video, I talked about finding freedom, and that was the ability to express oneself through pure motives and pure desires, which results in satisfaction, joy, and contentment for yourself and for others. But in finding freedom for yourself, there's something called self-love that most people are still grappling with today, to be honest. You know, I've actually found myself not too long ago sitting down with my children in the morning. My wife and I like to sit my son Amir, my daughter Zanaya down and just discuss some principles and concepts of life that can help them grow and flourish into productive, beautiful children, and eventually into successful, purposeful adults that understand life in its entirety. And so we normally do this 5-10 minutes every morning as we're eating breakfast. But not too long ago, when we were kind of going around the table and talking about self-love, and really just identifying, what do you love about yourself? You know, what can you identify that you're extremely happy about or love about? And, you know, my son, I gave him a couple ideas. I talked about his wonderful smile. I talked about how great he is at organizing things and how detailed he is. And then he kind of, piggybacked off of that and shouted out a couple other things. And then with my daughter, just poured on the love with her and just saying how she's so beautiful and I love her hair and I love your smile and how you enjoy wearing pretty dresses and just different things that can help build her up and just being secure in who she is. And as they do that, they will begin to understand self-love. Now, I want to point out one thing. Self-love is not repeating things every morning until you memorize it and get it in your conscience so you can convince yourself that you're a certain way. No. Self-love is understanding your purpose, understanding how and why you were created the way you are, and accepting that, embracing that, and finding joy in expressing how you were created. So what does that mean? So that means that, myself as being a man, that I find ways to express my manhood in a way that's healthy. And when I say manhood, I'm not talking about sexual terms here. I'm just talking about my masculinity, my enjoyment in embracing other man in strength, firm handshake, a nice solid hug, or yes, I said hug, that's right. Or even just telling another man, hey man, you looking good today, man. I like that suit you got on. Just enjoying our masculinity. It may be in other contexts, in a friendly competition. I love playing pickup games of basketball. That's what I mean, embracing that manhood ability. For women, it may be on a different, side of things. Just expressing yourself through the beauty of nature or through the beauty of art and expression and entertainment, or just whatever it is that works for you. It may be just getting your nails done and just going through that process of beautification, of dealing with cosmetology and just having a nice spa with some ladies. Whatever it is, finding out ways to express ourselves, not to change us, but to express the desire and the notion that I love how I'm created. And I truly believe that we can only come to that point once we understand more and more of our purpose, and that we aren't created on accident. We were created specifically the way we are and born in the year and the era that we were born in for a specific reason as well. Now, I truly believe we all possess some gifts, some talents, some skills that allow us to contribute to society in a way that will benefit the world globally, not just individually. Not just in a small area of town. But anyway, getting back to this context of just understanding self-love and embracing our purpose, in that is where we also connect the dots to the previous video of finding freedom. Once we have that self-love, that we actually free ourselves from the thoughts of others. Because in self-love, it's not about a inward thought of this is how I am, this is how I love me, and this is how I'm going to express myself. No, I believe that it's tied to the way that the Creator sees us, the way that the Creator has designed us, understanding that, embracing that, and flourishing and blossoming in that nature. That is where we begin to embrace self-love. And when we do that, we have an audience of one. It's like, I was created this way. I was created the way that I am, and I'm going to embrace that. That doesn't mean, now we obviously know there's some things that personalities we need to grow out of that aren't healthy. And I'm not saying change our personality going from an introvert to extrovert. I'm saying tempering us and sharpening ourselves and purifying ourselves. You know, I love the metaphor, the analogy of silver being purified in fire and seeing the dross rise to the top and all the impurities being scraped off so that you can produce that pure silver or that pure gold, that pure 24 karat gold. I love that because we understand that in our personalities and in the way that we are, yes, we're born with some things and some natural tendencies that are not healthy, some natural tendencies that are not productive, and some things that may not be natural tendencies, but that were added into us and incorporated into our soul and the way we think, our body, our mind, our will and emotions, and some things that aren't healthy. And as we begin to identify those, then that's when we can engage in that process of purifying ourselves, that process of becoming the best version of who we were created to be. And in that, when we understand the Creator's intent, when we understand who we are to be, we have an audience of one and free ourselves from the thoughts and opinions of others. So if you're having a good day outside and you see someone walking down the street and you want to just share some good news with them, not personally, not trying to be boastful, but just encouraging someone else to find self-love that says, hey man, you know, you were created the way you are for a reason, that you know we need you here. You know that we need people like you, people of your background, people of your culture. You don't have to know anything about them. You know how good that makes a person feel? But one of our thoughts, many of our thoughts, that as we're walking down the street, we're fearful of doing that because we're worried of what are they going to say what are they going to think of me when I say this? Are they going to think that, hey, I'm picking them out because of, you know, X, Y, and Z? That's what I mean. Freeing ourselves from the thoughts and the opinions of others so that we can flourish and become who we are to be. So it's like in nature. There's something like for flowers, you know, I have a background in horticulture and agriculture and landscaping. And so I've been around a number of different plants. At no point in time does any given plant say that, you know what, I don't like who I am, so I want to be a different plant. You don't see lilies and tulips competing with one that say, hey, you know what, I'm a lily. I don't like my blooms anymore. I don't like the color of my foliage. I want to be a tulip. It just doesn't happen. So in the same way that they just blossom, and obviously, you know, it doesn't happen through a process of its own. There are different things that actually help develop that lily, whether it's the soil conditions, whether it's the fertilizer, whether it's the amount of rainfall it gets through certain periods of the year, through the certain temperatures. There are all these environments that actually develop that beauty of that daylily. So in the same way that we are developed in the proper environment, the proper setting, I don't necessarily mean location, but for some of us that can dictate that. But I truly mean that just being in that right environment and blossoming based off of who we were created to be and not desiring to be someone else. In that is a place of complete freedom. When you can look at the mirror, even if you just roll out of the bed, you know, eyes are still crusted over from sleeping so hard. Your hair may be messed up. You know, may need a haircut, may need to shave. Breath may not be that fresh. But when you can roll out of bed, look at yourself in the mirror and say that, man, I love who I am. That is the day when you've begun to live in that personal place of freedom, self-love, and just embracing who the Creator has designed you to be. So I don't care if you're at work, I don't care if you're at school, I don't care if you're at the park, the grocery store, out shopping. Never let someone snatch away your beauty. We all possess a certain glory. We all possess a certain beauty that only we carry. I mean, after all, we all have individual fingerprints. So you cannot, just by fingerprints themselves, prove to me any other way that we were created to be other than what we are. By us all being so uniquely different, that is proof that we all possess a beauty. We all possess something that needs to be contributed to our communities locally and globally. So I just want everyone to begin to embrace that. Find out what the Creator, who the Creator has designed you to be, and identify what environment is healthy for you to be in to flourish and bloom and blossom. Man, I tell you what, it is something so just awesome about nature, about a well-landscaped area when you have your flowers. Oh, I especially love azaleas this time of year. You know, these past few weeks, the azaleas in the area have been blooming wonderfully. You see the whites, you see the magentas, you see the pinks, you see the ambers, and all these beautiful colors. And then you have the dogwoods when they bloom in, you know, different parts of the year, and camellias. That is that horticultural love in me, excuse me, that I possess. But in that, I see the beauty and the uniqueness of each individual plant. The same way I truly believe that we all should come to learn to see the beauty in who we are. When we do that, we free ourselves from the opinions and thoughts of others, and then we can actually help other people free themselves. And when we do that, just because I'm free from your opinion doesn't mean I don't respect you. It doesn't mean I don't respect what you think. If anything, I embrace it more because you're confident in who you are, and you're confident in the ideas that you produce. You are confident in the desires that produce. Now, obviously, everything needs to be filtered, and we have to understand what pure desires are. Desires of love, of unity, of oneness of mind, and just wholehearted goodness towards one another. Now, how can we produce that? As we continue to get through the surface and go through that refiner's fire of purifying ourselves, our nature, our ability, then that's when we could come to this place. But it is such an awesome feeling, you know, obviously, you know, being married 6 years, having 2 wonderful children, and just beginning the legacy that my wife and I will give way to. You know, I am so excited to continue to blossom, to continue to understand who I was created to be, and to continue to pour on words of life to my wife, pour on words of truth and love to my son and my daughter. And everyone that's hearing this YouTube video now, we can all blossom in this place of self-love, understanding the Creator's design within us, and that we are created for some awesome things. So really take inventory of yourself. Let's focus on the positive aspects. Take a look in the mirror. Look at your skin color. Look at your abilities. Even if, hey, you may say, you know what, I have an injury. You know what, I have a sickness. You know what, I have an ailment. I have an illness. There are so many attributes about ourselves that we can identify. There are so many things that make us uniquely us that we can identify, that even if you have cancer, even if you have a terminal illness, that in itself cannot overcome the beauty that you possess. I truly believe that. So begin to take inventory in yourself. Make a list. Get a journal out. Write a few things down. If you can't think of it, then it shows that you have some homework to do. But don't be discouraged. Be uplifted in knowing that you have beauty, that you are here for a reason. So as we think about this, ponder this, engage in discussion with one another. Let's embrace one another's beauty and build up one another. So thank you for your time, for listening in. Continue to keep up with us. Please leave comments and let us know how this video impacts you. So take care and have a good day.